We're always in our clubhouse getting high. Super fuckers! Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers! Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run and hide.
Hey, it's the Rebel Taxi Pizza Party podcast. I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
I'm Izzy.
I'm Misery, or Princess Misery, whichever.
Princess of what?
I'm Prat.
I'm Snookums gal, or Carmen, whatever you want to call me.
Who are you people? What are you? Okay, it's in order.
No, like literally, who are you people? Because we just randomly, this Avengers just came together, and I don't know half of you.
This is like the Civil War, where it's like the lesser Avengers, I guess. You know, it's like we don't know you.
Yeah, the B team.
Who's Ant-Man?
Misery, you can be Scarlet Witch, but who are you, Misery?
I'm Princess Misery. I'm like an artist. Well, mostly like a freelance artist. I used to work as like a colorist for Camila DeRico, and now I'm like job hunting. But I tend to draw like a lot of really spooky stuff with like my vampire OCs or like cutesy shit because I'm a weeb. But nowadays I'm like drawing Disney stuff, and I'm like a little embarrassed, but at the same time I'm just like constantly drawing Pinocchio, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is my life now.
Is this the first goth we've had on the show?
I am pretty much a goth, or at least more so in the pastel goth spectrum, but yeah.
Oh, same. So also, first off, fuck off, Pan.
Well,
I'm gothic.
Oh, when did that happen?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I just don't dress gothic around you for reasons.
Oh. Yeah, well, what reasons would that be? You know, what are you insinuating?
I'm moving on.
Yeah, I guess Pan just found me in the local Hot Topic and said, "Hey, do you want to come in?" I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
I dragged this goth person saying, "Hey, get on here." I don't know, but who's the next people? Prat, who are you?
Hi. I'm a chthonic critter who is basking in the abyssal sun. Also,
Does that mean you're also goth?
Goth number 3.
you could say that. I also wrangle a fun poster parliament. I make effort posts on the internet, and I do animation shit for Titmouse and Yada.
Oh boy.
Cool.
Ooh, what do you do?
Exactly. I think most of the time I'm doing layouts and backgrounds and, design-related stuff. Sometimes I do boards and whatever.
Any shows you worked on?
Yes. I just finished working on Captain Underpants and...
Cool beans.
Oh, fuck. What can I talk about?
Hey,
Oh yeah, it's like I'm wondering like what can you reveal at all, if at all?
Okay, well, I can't talk about right now in the future, but I also worked on Breadwinners, Home. I can't remember. I worked on stuff. I worked on a lot of stuff. I worked on Future Worm.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
I remember in Comic-Con, somebody, I don't know, some crew of Future Worm just abandoned like this big Future Worm carcass, like this suit someone walks around in, and they just left it in like some hall. It's like, I could take this and no one will stop me.
Like a giant Future Worm outfit, like the worm himself.
It was like a big piñata type thing, paper mache, and like you could wear it over your entire body, some sort of mascot costume. And I saw it there at Comic-Con, and I was like, I could take that and nobody would stop me.
Yeah, just wear it out. Be the piñata.
What happened at Comic-Con for Future Worm to be abandoned?
I don't know. He probably went back to his time and left his mortal shell.
Yeah, Future Worm died back to its home timeline.
It's waiting for that lucky person to claim it.
We also have one more guest.
Yeah. And Snookums, who are you?
hello, I am Snookums gal, or Carmen. I am a professional animator in Vancouver. I guess that Pratt and I are probably living in the same city.
Yeah.
So, I've animated on Mega Man Fully Charged, and now I am currently a shot finalist on the new Addams Family movie.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
But first, this video is sponsored by Kitsu, who paid $100 on Patreon to get us to MomoCon. They want to promote their art. Be sure to check out the links below to check out or buy their art. It's colorful and full of pitch black shading, that sort of style, you know. That style. It looks really nice. Follow them on Twitter or whatever. Links below to their stuff.
We now return to the Transformers.
I've animated on Mega Man Fully Charged, and now I am currently a shot finalist on the new Addams Family movie.
Super cool.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that movie.
Because they haven't done anything with Addams Family in like freaking decades.
Yeah, I think the last, like, the live action 90s movies was probably the last thing that they've done with that. It's very interesting to see everyone's reactions to the trailer, because so many people, like, the biggest example of not knowing that it's like a cartoon property is they're like, oh man, what did they do to my boy Gomez? He's so fat and weird looking. And
oh god,
I do see quite a few people defending it in the case that it's actually based off of the comic strip from, I believe it's like the 50s or 60s, the one shot little what are they called, little cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I forget that the Addams Family is like really, really old. Like, like it's been around for like decades, and doesn't feel that way. In a sense.
Yeah, because I'm sure most people are just familiar with the live-action movies, and nobody knows it's a cartoon. I don't know, there's a lot of properties that I feel people aren't aware that it's based off someone else. Like, nobody really cares about the books that are based on, like, Forrest Gump or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Or, like, How to Train Your Dragon from DreamWorks.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Those books are completely different. The only thing that they have in common are the names.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's because, like, Toothless in that version, it's like a little tiny, scrawny little dragon.
Yeah, he's like the size of like a house cat, and he's like he's a big jerk, and the whole thing is that Toothless can talk too.
It was also based off of a book.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, it's a very, very different property, but like they're both charming in their own way.
Same for Shrek and stuff.
Yeah, Shrek was a book. I forgot about that.
Book has nothing to do with the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shrek was a book.
I don't know, I just love seeing the people's reactions to people freaking out that Shrek was based off a book.
And also the Smash Mouth music was also a cover song or something.
It was?
Yeah.
Who made the original Smash Mouth song then? I do know that the all-star song we know from Shrek was first used in a different movie called Mystery Man, if anybody remembers that movie.
Wasn't it also used in Digimon, the movie?
Yeah, it was, too. Which I think Digimon came before the Shrek movie?
Yeah, it did.
What year did
I think so.
Oh, man, yeah.
Which, by the way, I know we talked about it before, but Digimon the movie literally has one of the best 2000 soundtracks.
It is. It's a goddamn time capsule.
It is. It's like very different from the Japanese version for sure. It's like a very different tone and everything.
Because they pretty much like butchered like the Japanese cut, and they like got 3 separate short films and then just like sewed them together and try to make some sort of narrative to fit them all together, and it just makes no sense.
Yeah, they try to make it hip with the kids.
Sorry, I'm not super familiar with Digimon, but there's that one scene where it's like the one kid is crying over something very personal in the Japanese version, but in the English dub, they're just like, oh, why are you crying? He's like, I don't know, I'm sad. He's like, stop crying. He's like, oh, okay, I feel better.
Oh.
That movie has, I don't understand, a lot of reviewers like said it has a bad script, but there's so many good lines on that. It's your pie, you buy. Did you see that? No, I was sleeping. But you're the one driving.
Yeah. I mean, they were essentially making a bridge series before a bridge series.
It really is.
Yeah. I've seen a couple rounds of like even like Yu-Gi-Oh dubs going around on Twitter, and just all the crazy stuff that Kaiba says.
Oh, and the new one, didn't he like do something where like they completely changed one of the scenes where he's like, fire this person, it shouldn't have he like crushes something, I forgot what, like a communicator, and he throws it and he's fire the guy who makes this. A Kaiba corpse thing shouldn't crush this easily. Isn't like, you know, somebody smashing the object that they're trying to sell, how the DS was made, where they said like, look, if this thing doesn't like survive a 5-foot drop, it's not worth it. Yeah, and also the DS is the console that's made it the highest point in like on Earth because I forgot what mountain that is. But the guys brought the DS, and because it's cold resistant and it doesn't break when you drop it, they took them on their quest.
Oh, so it survived being on like Mount Everest or whatever.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, because the original DS was such a like gigantic brick almost. It just looked. I remember hating the design so bad, and I was like, oh my god, the DS Lite, this looks so much better. But I don't think it's as durable.
You can buy cigarettes.
Oh, I was just saying that I had like several DSs on me that like broke just because I was like, I thought like maybe I can just take it out and enjoy myself, but then it's like, oh, whoops, here's some spilled water.
Oh no.
Yeah. Rip my Animal Crossing.
Damn.
By the way, did you know that Animal Crossing just turned 18?
Oh yeah.
It can drink.
It's legal now.
Isabel can say fuck.
Now people can do all the things they want to Isabel.
Like they
Just
have been
now.
already.
Just right now. That's never happened before. It's only happening right now that she's 18.
So yeah, now it's okay to do what you want with Isabel. Right now, although if you did it before, you already lost. So no, it's over.
Only the cool kids do it now.
Yeah.
But you two who work on things, Prat and Snookums, can you say anything about your things at all, or what's coming up? I don't know. I don't know if you're allowed to say anything, so I'm just.
Yeah.
That's not terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing that's like so tricky is that you kind of just want to like say it out to people just so that it doesn't have to be a secret, but then you're like, yes, I need employment.
Yeah.
Is there anything?
Nothing.
Currently,
Yeah.
I'm working on the Addams Family. I can say that it's still in production. It comes out in October.
Can you explain to me what happened to my boy Gomez?
Oh my god. He is a very handsome man.
Yeah,
He loves his wife very much. Honestly, that is actually a very cute thing that I've noticed, like more as I've worked on the movie, just like how much they all like love each other. Like that's the core to the property. I do believe like a couple of years ago there was like a Tumblr post floating around when people actually use Tumblr. Sorry. I think they took examples from the live action movie, but it very much carries over to this property as well, of just like how much they love each other. They just have like a different way of showing it. And like all throughout the movie, it's just very prominent that like everything that they do out of love for each other, which I think is a very nice like message to show.
Yeah, it's very like a close-knit relationship, which is what I appreciate. It's not like, most sitcoms who are like, oh, this couple's fighting like constantly. It's like, no, we need to have some positivity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, well, the dad is a dumbass who, the wife just kind of tolerates because that's their family, haha. But in this, it's like they make mistakes, but they also like own up to their mistakes and talk it out, and they love each other.
Well, because like a lot of people tend to like when they romanticize fictional relationships, they're like, I want me and my girlfriend to be like this. It's always like the Joker and Harley, which is like really awful. Like they're a bad relationship, or Romeo and Juliet who fucking die. Everyone really likes the really shitty ones, and I don't know if people can't just like they don't completely know the stories, and then so maybe they're just fake fans. But these two, Gomez and Morticia, they are like the goals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the performances by Oscar Isaac, who is Gomez, and Charlize Theron, or however you say her name. Like they, I don't know. I feel like they actually like try to put that into their performances. I think they could have just phoned it in, just be like, whatever. Like you don't see me, so why should I care? But they actually try. At least that's the way that I feel when watching and listening to it.
I'm very glad that it carried over into this version too, because that's the core thing with Morticia and Gomez. Like, it's a way better relationship than the popular goth ship being like Jack and Sally. It's like, no. Gomez and Morticia should be like the new icons.
Well, does Gomez and Morticia have a Blink-182 lyric for them?
Yeah. Do they?
I cannot confirm or deny.
I'm sure the Addams Family are mentioned in some pop punk song in the 2000s somewhere.
I'm actually gonna like search that now. I'm just gonna search lyrics, Adam and Gomez and Morticia, and see if anything pops up.
Yeah, I think on Wikipedia they would list that like things in pop culture, and they list all the things that they were ever referenced in.
I mean, has everyone here seen the trailer?
I have.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like they do reference other pop culture stuff, so I mean, it could go back and forth, but like the one scene I'm particularly thinking of is the balloon scene where Wednesday's standing there and she's holding a red balloon, and Morticia comes up and she goes, "Strange, there's usually a murderous clown attached to the other end of these things."
That was really funny.
Yeah, it's pretty cute, and it's just kind of like a thing. I think it's just a nod for older audiences or even younger audiences who have actually seen it or at least know of it.
Yeah.
It always makes me super happy when these CG animated like films do a super cartoony and non-realistic look of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like,
I love
even
that.
Even though like I didn't really care too much for the sequels for Hotel Transylvania, I still really dig watching it exclusively because of the art style is so good.
Yeah, that's what I think is like missing from most of these CGI movies that are not as stylized. It's just very cookie cutter, like what Disney is doing. Not that I hate whatever Disney's animating now. It's just that it feels like so cookie cutter because it's like it's the same style over and over.
Well, I do feel like it just depends on the source, because it's from Disney, so it's going to have Disney aspects. Whereas like with at least like Addams Family, personally, the way that I see it is that there are still a lot of influences from the other film that we made, which was Sausage Party.
Did you work on Sausage Party?
No, I did not work on Sausage Party. That was before I was even in the industry. What it was is Nitrogen Studios, which were responsible to Sausage Party, got bought out. I believe it was late 2016 or maybe early 2017. They got bought out by Cinesite, which was a pre-existing VFX company based in Montreal and then I think also Ireland. But this happens all the time in the industry, where just studios will just kind of consume other studios because money. I don't know, but the reason that I bring that up is because the directors who were on Sausage Party are also directing this, I believe. So there's definitely certain style aspects that transfer over. I know there are people who did work on Sausage Party who worked on this.
I mean, when you say style aspects from Sausage Party, I'm kind of concerned because there's lots of strange things that happen in Sausage Party. So I don't know if that's going to happen in this family movie.
Addams Family is all about strange things. It makes sense.
How strange can we go?
Yeah, okay. I meant it more in like a character aspect, as in like the pupils without the colored irises.
Oh yeah,
and like the certain ways that the faces of the characters are designed and shaped. Specifically, kind of like the way that the eyebrows work is that they'll get very close to the eyes to mimic that of like 2D art, where you can just draw the eyebrows wherever you want. So it is a challenge in 3D because stuff like that creates kind of more, not technical problems, but like sometimes like the lighting and rendering will end up looking weird. So they have certain ways to work around it. I'm not very knowledgeable in the ways that they accomplish that, but there's just like certain aspects that you pick up on, at least from an artistic point.
I see.
I do like how a lot of these smaller studios are going for the more stylized route, while the bigger ones like Disney and Pixar just stick to realism for the most part.
Well, I mean, it's probably a cost thing on top of being like trying to create a name for themselves, because the more realistic you make it, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like too risky for Disney to like think outside of the box and try to be, super stylized like they used to be in the 2D era.
Yeah. remember that one paper man short?
Oh my gosh, my friends, my friends were so excited about that because even in college, all I did was 2D animation, and so I didn't get to go to SIGGRAPH that year. And the year that, because like if you guys aren't familiar, SIGGRAPH is like this big animation CG technology convention. It's like I think LA and then somewhere else every other year, like it changes. And it's usually where Pixar and DreamWorks and them show whatever they're working on in some kind of like tech demo. And so a lot of times you can see pieces, clips, or shorts before they actually air. And so they got to see Paperman, and they got to actually see like how it works and like tech demos of it. And like they were so excited for me to see Paperman, but Paperman is so good.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss when Disney actually tried. I mean, they do try like a lot of stylized shorts, but it doesn't really, carry on to any of their big budget films, which is a shame.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika!
Yeah, Pika Pika Pika. He's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
Can no one else hear him? I don't need a Pokemon.
Then what about a world-class detective? Because if you want to find your pops, I'm your best bet.
I do want to jump to something real quick. We were talking about eyes, and this is completely unrelated to everything else. But in the they did like a trailer for Pokemon, the Detective Pikachu, with the cast. Like they just had like fake auditions with the Pokemon. And speaking of eyes, the creepiest thing is when you realize that Psyduck, it doesn't have just one tiny little black dot for an eye. His entire eye is just a white iris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's so cool how people kind of like integrate these things into the design, because I don't remember the artist's name right now, but there was a very popular artist on DeviantArt who would do these realistic renditions of Pokemon and would come up with these really unique ways to explain why certain characters look the way they do. They actually got them for the Detective Pikachu movie to like help with these design choices. Like for example, they have like the Haunter and Ghastly and Gengar lines or whatever. And I believe the way that they explained those Pokemon were that they were just like big bugs, like big butterflies or something like that. I'm maybe wrong. I'm trying to remember it right now off the top of my head. I can go look it up.
By the way, the artist name is R.J. Palmer.
Okay, yes, thank you. But they just came up with really interesting solutions to adapt these design elements into quote unquote realism. So yeah, having something like that with Psyduck's iris be like the entirety of its eye, like it totally makes sense, but is also faithful to the original design. Which is just, it's very cool to see the workarounds that people give to these things.
I do have to say, a lot of the Pokemon that's in the in that like video where they reveal them and there's no background, it's just like the set. Like Charizard for the first time looks good to me. I didn't think he looked good at any of the trailer clips, and I don't know if it's because of perspective or what, but finally it looked like Charizard.
Speaking of R.J. Palmer, the character designer for Detective Pikachu the movie, I have a friend who's a friend with him, so we might get RJ on the podcast in a month or two after the movie comes out.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm kind of worried about I'm too afraid to see any more trailers, but it's like, is the final scene in this movie with Mewtwo? Did they spoil that? I don't know.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you think it would have been better to be like a reveal that no one knew about?
Yeah,
or do you think they have something bigger?
It would have been better to not reveal it.
That is assuming it is the final scene of the movie.
They could always just because what can you do that's bigger and more fan servicey than Mewtwo?
Some guy with a gun.
Got it. You're right.
Pikachu
nailed it.
I mean,
what kind of gun does a Detective Pikachu carry?
6-shooter.
6-shooter. I mean, it's a very realistic world. They have to get real.
Yeah. Yeah, Pikachu don't need his electricity anymore. It hurts him every time he uses it.
It's the Quake 3 lightning gun.
That's getting too dark and gritty.
Oh no. No, he uses a taser.
Oh, have you guys seen anything from the Mewtwo Returns remake that's in CG?
All right, they're making like a new CG Pokemon movie or something.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're just doing a shot-for-shot remake of the original 2D film, but this time in 3D.
Yeah, I see how it looks, and it looks kind of weird. I'm just so used to seeing in 2D that the 3D rendering is kind of like, okay.
Is it really shot for shot?
It
like,
looks
is that
like
necessary?
it. Every image we've seen from it is literally there's a counterpart from the original film.
What I want to know
the point
is when is there going to be a new Digimon movie?
Oh, please.
Like
someday.
I don't know. Has Digimon really done anything recent that's like good? Like Try was okay.
Existed was good.
Yeah. They could try harder. That'd be great.
It's quality over quantity, I believe.
Well, I'm sure like we'll get a Digimon movie if Detective Pikachu comes out, or they'll just call it like what isn't there like Cyber Sleuth or something? Yeah. Agumon Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, that's what I want. I just want to have like a series of live action movies based off of video games and monsters.
Yeah.
So like I want a Monster Rancher detective story. I want a Digimon detective story.
It'll be like the fucking 70s with like Scooby-Doo and like a punch Buggy or whatever his name was, Captain Caveman, where it's just these mystery shows.
Come on, nerd.
Speed Buggy. Who cares about Speed Buggy?
Don't you take that back.
Yeah, if I would like slice Speed Buggy's tires. I don't care.
You fucker. Did you guys see the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated episode where they decided to do it in the traditional Hanna-Barbera style, so they didn't have to redesign all the cameos. But it's an episode of Scooby-Doo that has Speed Buggy, the Funky Phantom, Captain Caveman, and was it Jabberjaw?
Yeah, Jabberjaw.
Yeah, so they explain it as Scooby having a fever dream.
Yeah.
But I think Metabots, like if we're going by like 90s anime, Metabots would work.
Possibly.
What about Flint the Time Detective?
Metabots detective stories.
I mean, it's already a detective, so that'll work if anyone remembers Flint the Time Detective.
I love that show. It's got a good theme song.
Now, back from prehistoric times, here's Flint. Defending justice through time and space. Flint the Time Detective.
The villain's like a dominatrix Jessie.
Pretty much,
Damn.
yeah. She was just wearing that like tight leather red outfit, and it's like, hey, this is kind of inappropriate. I don't know about this for a kid show.
Do us a favor. Can you explain the plot to Flint the Time Detective?
If I can remember it, but essentially, like, some caveman kid and his dad gets consumed by a volcano. Like, I think that's what happened.
They get fossilized.
Yeah, they get fossilized, but doesn't all like lava overtake them or something?
Right. So basically, they could revive the kid, but the dad, they couldn't fix him. So they mold him into a hammer for the kid to use.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a quirky idea.
It's the future, and like for some reason these two kids meet a scientist, and the scientists tell them like, hey, we need you to find these evil eggs or something and go back to the past.
Right.
And
these kids look so generic. If I'm remembering correctly, they kind of look like not the movie versions of Dino City, but the video game versions of Dino City kids.
What's Dino City?
You don't know what Dino City is?
I think I know it from the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a thing. Yeah,
there was a video game on the Super Nintendo which you get to ride dinosaurs, and it looks nothing like the movie it's based off of.
I'm looking at this Dino City cover, and it's a T-Rex wearing a leather jacket and some sneakers, chilling out with his kid on a skateboard and headphones.
That is so 90s.
Yeah. But I don't know. In Flint the Time Detective, I recall there was this one episode. I think like it has like this one clip has a lot of views on YouTube, But there's a scene where the girl is like growing in size and her clothes are slowly ripping off, and then some blue guy, this blue vampire guy, just comes out of nowhere and throws like a rose at her, and then she poofs, and then she's wearing like this weird kinky bunny outfit. And I remember that episode weirdly for some reason, and I see a lot of people also remember that episode. So if you look up Flint, Time Detective, Inflation.
Oh.
This is the only show's claim to fame.
It kind of makes me think of that one Dexter's Laboratory episode.
Didn't they?
Oh, the one where...
Didn't, in this show... Oh, God, I just found the clip.
Oh, boy.
I wasn't actually looking. I was just literally going Google image search Flint the Time Detective to, like, kind of revive some memories. And so I think the plotline is that as these little egg monster creatures, like little tiny ones, are getting mutated into bigger creatures.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god!
Yeah, there was a good.
Oh my god!
There was
I
like
recognize this shit.
Yeah, it was on Fox Kids.
Oh my fucking god! Probably for like a season.
Yeah, like they would have like three versions, like a default tiny version, a bigger good version, a bigger evil version.
And then there was this guy with like I remember the frog, and then there's a guy with like squiggly lines on his side. I think it's supposed to be whiskers.
Yeah, he's like, what's a mudkip? You know, like those creatures that a mudkip is based on.
Axolotls.
Yeah, axolotl.
I guess
I
so.
can't pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, I guess
so thank you.
I
those were the
literally
minions.
just got some. Like, I just went out and bought some.
Yay!
I got to pat one.
They're very cute. Sorry, why were you bringing that up, Pam?
Oh, those were the minions. Yeah, because the minions were like a frog and that animal that you just referenced. You know,
Mudkip.
Yeah,
It's the official name of the animal, Mudkips.
I don't know, but like they would time travel, and their time traveling vehicle was like a Scooty Puff Jr., this dinosaur you ride on. It looks so lame.
Okay, so hot take. One of my favorite, I think I'm going to go on the limb and just say the best anime kids like thing, like a Battle Beat. I really like Battle Beat 'em Up's theme song. Have you guys heard it?
Oh yeah, you said it was like a mixture of every music genre ever.
Okay, so we have talked about it before.
Going back, but one thing about Flint the Time Detective, it's kind of like Time Squad, where these little Pokemon-like creatures affect the past. And apparently, the only reason why I think Da Vinci was ever a good artist is because one of these creatures pecked his arm, and it gave him the power to draw. So this whole time, Da Vinci was a freaking hack.
What?
Yeah,
it changes everything.
Yeah, it was like, wow. It's like, way to shit on Da Vinci. Like, you people are not gonna like the Martin Luther King Jr. episode. It gets really weird.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There is none, but I imagine if there was, it'd be horrible.
Oh.
We can start a Kickstarter right now. We can make it happen.
Bring back this and Moncoli Nights.
Oh my god.
What's Moncoli Nights?
Exactly. It also aired around the same time on Fox Kids.
Okay.
Moncoli Nights. I remember being attracted to the female lead as a kid, and I know nothing else about that show at all.
Man, Fox Kids. Like, that's got me really nostalgic. I loved Fox Kids.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
what was
it?
better? It became the Fox Box and then 4Kids Entertainment.
Right.
But yeah, like around the 2000s, like late 90s, they kind of gave up and said, look, let's just buy anime. We don't care. It's already done. Just get anime out there.
My favorite anime was actually a French anime.
Oh,
Miraculous
Which one?
Ladybug?
Is it Code Lyoko?
No.
What, food?
I mean, kind of. No.
Totally Spies?
I was going to say Cyber 6.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Snookums. I'm like, Canadians would know.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It was on Teletoon at like 9 p.m. or so. I remember
Yeah, when it came out in it was first on YTV and Fox, and like they didn't air half the episodes in the States because well, it basically
What were they about?
It basically involves the main character cross-dressing during the daytime.
Yeah.
It's very queer.
It's great. It's really interesting though because the main comic is actually like an adult comic. Like they just any chance that the artist / author got would just show the main character's tits.
Wow.
Just unapologetically. And then I don't know. I have the comic bookmarked. I just haven't read it yet.
Shit.
But
Yeah, it's pretty good.
the TV show is just so cool. That theme song is just so rad. I wish they would release it in HD because I don't think you can find an actual true HD version of it, but it's very cool. But yeah, this whole time that you guys are talking about like 90s, early 2000s anime, I was trying to think of a way to bring it up. So thank you for bringing that up.
At least there's a DVD of it, thankfully. But,
is there a DVD?
Yeah, I got the DVD. Some fan sent it to me. But also, you guys should check out this cartoon that I feel would be like, it's another superhero. Well, not superhero, but also a female lead that came out around the late 90s. It's called Legend of Calamity Jane, a cartoon series. It kind of does look like the Bruce Timm style in a way, but it's a Western, and it's like it was on Kids WB in America for like 2 weeks, and then it was gone because it was too violent, because they had like real ammunition and everything. It was actually a pretty ambitious show, but it's been buried, and I talked about it once, and it's just like, it's such a hidden gem.
Familiar. Maybe I've seen it you talk about in your video before.
Yeah, it was like the one Western cartoon I talked about ever, so yeah, it's really cool. But I like to pretend it's like associated with Cyber 6, since it's two female leads for an obscure cartoon nobody remembers that are from French.
I kind of want to buy Cyber 6 and like do like a viewing party at my home.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm doing it. I just bought it.
I think my favorite thing about that, besides obviously like the plot or whatever, is just the setting, because I didn't know Argentina existed. So I'm like, why is there a European city in the jungle?
Oh, I got confused with Cyber 6. I remember there was a show on Fox Kids also. It was called Cyber 9, but it was Cyber with an X. And
it's like the time of extreme Ghostbusters and shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So legitimately, I'm rewatching Extreme Ghostbusters right now because it was my favorite show as a kid. Like I have Kylie and Eduardo action figures still in box, and I absolutely love it. It holds up pretty good, except for every episode just randomly as soon as they capture the ghost. It's like 2 seconds later, the episode's over. Like they don't wrap up. They don't really like show any changes or because the characters' arcs don't wrap up. It's just like, okay, we did it. Okay, cool. And then it just boom,
credits.
Intro. Yeah, and but I really want to do a video of that.
Yeah,
because it is aggressively progressive. Not only do they have like a member of each race in there, but one of the guys is in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, who
never got a toy.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh,
yeah. Literally, I think that they have a prototype, and they weren't going to give him an actual wheelchair. They were going to give him like a Xavier like styled battle tank wheelchair thing. Also, he was voiced by Max Gooth from a Goofy movie.
Oh, that's something.
I can't believe they canceled Pelswick too soon.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I was like, speaking of wheelchairs, Pelswick was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Was that show on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, it was on. It came out around like the same day as As Told by Ginger.
Yeah, I definitely seen that.
When I saw As Told by Ginger, I was in that stage of boredom where I was just like, I felt uncomfortable watching girl shows because I was not supposed to, and I was scared like parents would watch, walk in and like start questioning things. So I kept like changing the channel. I was very embarrassed by it.
I did the same too when Sailor Moon was on.
I hope no one sees me watching this cartoon with a girl in it.
Obviously now I'm cool with it, but it's just like at the time I was just like I was really insecure about my at the time manhood.
So you got on HRT and you just went straight into the marathon viewing of the entire series.
I am tonight.
Oh man.
Is it streaming anywhere? Is that Netflix?
Probably streaming places where you can get a billion viruses before you press play.
There's a weird app on the Xbox called Tubi.
Tubi?
What?
No.
Yeah, and it has a lot of stuff on it, and it looks like it. I legitimately thought it was like a bootleg app or something, but it checks out. It's legal. You just have to watch ads between episodes, but it has stuff like the original, the Super Mario Super Show, all the Transformers series, and and a bunch of weird, obscure anime. So I'm kind of curious if like Flint the Time Detective's on there.
I mean, I guess it's kind of the same as Cracked, where they were just like, hey, here's Jackie Chan Adventures and a bunch of stuff nobody remembers.
Love Jackie Chan Adventures. I watched it when it was on Netflix for a bit, and there was a season I didn't even know happened.
This is the final one with the dragons?
Yeah, where they replaced the main like henchman that's been in the series and kind of the best part of the show. And they replaced him with some gangster guys, like super generic characters.
Like I'm a scout.
Together, we try to stay one step ahead of these guys. It beats having a very bad day. Jackie Chan Adventures, Monday through Thursday at 8 on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, they were running out of steam. That show was just going on endlessly.
How many seasons? How many seasons did it have?
Like 4, I think.
Wow.
Not that bad.
Oh, here's a little bit. So, I think it was the 3rd season. They did a thing where they meant to like they have 2 types of episodes. They have filler, and then they have story episodes. And there's only like 7 story episodes or something like that, like 7 or 13. And then there's like this 20 episodes of filler. And the original plan was to air the filler in between the thing, so they can pad out the actual episodes that are dedicated to the season-long arc. Instead, they aired all the episodes together that have the plot line, and then it was just 20 weeks of filler.
I think some of the episodes for Jackie Chan Adventures were out of order. Like, I remember those main thugs. I remember like midway through the series, they turned orange and were like demons now.
I remember that. That was like, for me, like the weird time skip, because I remember I stopped watching that show, and then I came back a year later and I watched it again, and it was kind of like, picking up Naruto.
What's going on?
Bring it, just to bring it back to your work on Captain Underpants, did you work on both seasons?
Yeah! What?
Did you work on both seasons?
Yes.
Okay, because like the first season is pretty much just like filler one-off episodes, and then the second season they're like, yes, let's have an overarching plot of Melvin from the future as the principal, and I'm like, why this direction? Is that anything that you can talk about? Because I'm curious. I do have other friends who work at Titmouse and on the series that I could also ask.
I mean, honestly, I'd probably speculate. I'd say like maybe the writers probably loosened up and are like, let's do something fun with this rather than.
Okay. Yeah, because I felt like when I was working on Mega Man, I remember just like reading the scripts and watching the storyboards and stuff like that. And at first, I don't know how much if anyone's seen much of Mega Man, the Fully Charged, that is the newer season. In the first like 10 episodes or so, or like the 11-minute 10 episodes, are very like filler-ish and not much plot to be had, and then all of a sudden they get to like this 2-parter. It's like, yes, all this plot, here's the main bad guy coming at them, and you're just like, whoa, where did this come from? And I do remember asking one of my leads, and I was like, hey, so I realized that there's kind of like this discrepancy, and she was like, well, yeah, see, I think the writers at first kind of wanted it more just, Monster of the Week or whatever. But then a lot of writers and showmakers are realizing that like plot-driven series are very popular. Like look at Steven Universe and the later seasons of Adventure Time. So I guess they decided to kind of add that more to it. Perhaps that was like their idea from the beginning, because all shows kind of start off a bit fillerish just to give you the idea of what the characters are like. But it was very interesting to see that kind of evolve as I was working on it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was also because it's like in production, we don't really hear if something's getting renewed until, writing is already done. They do their thing, and then it's down to production, and production's in the middle of it, and writing basically has to get back into it. If, they hear after the long finish and some people have moved off. Season 2, guys, yeah, and then people are like, what? Oh shit, okay.
So Prat, you work at Titmouse. I know like one other person that works there. I'm just curious if you're friends with them or know them. Do you know Colin Fleming? I don't know.
There's like 400 or 500 people here or whatever.
Yeah,
I figure
also,
it's worth trying. I want to be like,
also
oh, cool.
just to add to that, Titmouse does have, was it 3 studios? There's LA, Vancouver, and like, is there New York or something as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I automatically just assumed Colin was going to be LA.
Yeah, I know a lot of people at both. Well, actually, not as much now because a lot of my friends have moved to other studios, but yeah.
Yeah,
the Vancouver one is the biggest.
Yeah, and then same with DHX at Vancouver because they like ate up a whole bunch of other smaller studios like Studio B and Nerdcore and stuff like that. So a lot of like the people who work there were still working at DHX, but it's like a 5-story building with like 2 shows on every floor. Because when I was working on Mega Man, on the other side of the floor was the entire Carmen Sandiego team. So
I like driving by DHX in my car and blasting Joyride when people are outside smoking.
Oh my god!
On my way to Titmouse.
That's hilarious. I'm wondering if I ever heard you.
Oh, probably. I have a sub in my car.
Gosh, I hated that smoker's pit. It was in a very unfortunate spot because it's like to walk to the front door, they had the smoker's pit like in the way to get there. So I always had to hold my breath past there. But
DHX is a nice fucking building, though.
Oh, it's an absolutely beautiful building, and there's roof access, and you can see all of Vancouver.
Yeah, but I have a question. I see a beer tap like in the kitchenette. Does it actually work? Is it just like...
No, not as far as I knew. I
Get hammered and make cartoons.
Yeah, really. They they actually did filming for gosh, what was the show? I think it was Charmed. I think that's some show about some witches and wizards or something like that. But they actually filmed at the studio, and I don't know like what the plot or whatever that they were filming, but they left oh gosh, I can't even remember the words now. I'll have to ask some of my coworkers, but they left like a big prop lettering above the kitchen, and I don't know, it said something like imagine or believe or something silly like that, and it wasn't there before they filmed, but then they left and they just kept the words up there, and they're like, oh, I guess it's ours now.
That's great. I really like when studios accumulate like shit.
Yeah. It's a very cool environment. I'm glad that I got to work there.
Yeah.
DHX, were they Deke Entertainment before?
No.
It was
oh no, I'm thinking Cookie Jar.
They're based in Halifax.
Yeah, DHX the first, like the main thing is from Halifax, and then they have like Toronto is mostly where they do the like advertisement and all like the business stuff, and then Vancouver is where they do most of the cartoons. Deke Entertainment Corporation was a production company.
Oh, pretty cool.
Okay. So
yeah,
I was
most
wondering,
of
like,
Deke Library is currently owned by DHX Media after DHX acquired the Cookie Jar Group in October of 2012.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, is there any leftover remains of Deke, like any banners or whatever?
Not that I know of Deke, but they do have a lot of stuff from Studio B and Nerdcore. Nerdcore did like Slugterra, they did League of Super Evil. They did the first season of the Deep.
I think they also did Chop Sucky Chooks, maybe.
I don't think so. Maybe
like Cartoon Network got a bunch of shows from them, I believe, around like the mid late 2000s.
Sorry, to go back to like the original question of like if they had Deke stuff. No, unfortunately, not that I saw, but they had a lot of Nerdcore stuff and Studio B. So I don't know if many non-Canadians know of like Being Ian. But they had they had crew shirts for Being Ian. And
how many people
had,
actually wear those?
Who wants to be Ian?
Me. He's great.
Yeah.
They had leftover crew shirts from Being Ian, and we had like a studio barbecue, and they're like, here, just take all our leftover inventory of these other shows that we don't work on. So I
take this shirt.
Yeah, crew shirt of being Ian. They also had stuff from Yvonne of the Yukon.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was like, oh, being Ian was a bit more special in my mind, but I'm sure other people would think otherwise and would want Yvonne of the Yukon stuff. I don't know why. But
our friend Malik, the cartoon gamer, just did a video on like Yukon and that Ian show just like days ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you just retweeted the video about it, and I actually like found him through that way. And I was actually having some DMs with him yesterday about it, just talking about how much like nostalgia he just brought up, because I watch so many cartoon animation movie reviews while I'm working, because you're sitting there at the computer for like 8-9 hours. Yeah, you need something in the background, so I often listen to your guys' stuff and I'm like, oh yes, this.
Now I kind of feel guilty because if there's something I said and then you're just like, I don't know, I imagine you or somebody else saying like, the fuck did he say? I worked really hard on that. If I give a negative review to something.
No, it's totally fine. Like it's something where hard to remember that not everyone knows kind of like the insider info that so they're just viewing it from an outsider perspective. So sometimes there will be kind of statements where you're like, well, that's not really the case, but you can't just be like, actually, Pan, Mega Man is not a human. He is a robot. He just looks like a human. Like, I'm not going out of my way to say that to you.
Oh, did I make that mistake?
You did, but I didn't want to call you out, but I just kind of did, so I'm sorry.
Okay, because I remember I saw like the preview at Comic-Con and I was like, was he a human in this canon or no?
It is kind of not specifically said outright, but he is a robot. He's a robot boy, but he just happens to be the most advanced robot who looks like a human.
Oh.
Like an android.
I forget why.
I cannot confirm or deny. He is also supposed to be around 10 years of mentality. So
yeah.
Okay, I hope he doesn't.
Me too.
Yeah, protect a 10-year-old android.
Yeah.
Someone asked me something. Someone
like in general.
Someone asked if anyone remembers Toy Warrior from Super Sling.
Oh, I remember that.
I don't.
I don't know.
I have the pilot saved on my hard drive somewhere, but essentially it was some pilot by Cartoon Network. I guess it was trying to be their next Ben 10, and it didn't take off.
Oh, so it's like a failed replica.
I guess so, but I do remember there was like this theme song in the end credits, and it's the lamest 80s sounding theme song I've ever heard, and it came out in the 2000s.
The Toy Warrior is here. Here I come, better get out of my way. I am the warrior.
Guess it didn't age well.
Oh, yeah. It didn't age to begin with. No, well, I don't know. I gotta look into that because some people recognize it. Who brought that up? Like, did any of you work on that or what?
No,
before our times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just Googled it because I unfortunately don't remember it, but I guess someone here does. And I just got a picture of fucking the guy from Chuck from Chuck's Choice, if anyone's ever heard of that. I don't know.
Chuck's Choice.
And then I got some fan art of Atomic Betty and the guy from Toy Warrior. So, it's a popular show when fan art is, the only noticeable thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I'm trying to find like still images for videos on cartoons, and usually I just find fan art or horrible fetish art. It's like I just want some official art, and there's almost nothing in high quality.
Yeah, really.
Big oof.
Wait. Is there any news we need to talk about?
Lion King?
Oh, yeah. They made a more boring version of Lion King.
It's just brown. It all meshes together.
Because, I would be into this Lion King if they removed all voice acting, and it's just straight up like a pretend documentary, but like you have Morgan Freeman narrating, I would be so into it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I want real fake animals.
Star Wars did a thing. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so
me neither.
There sure were characters on a screen.
Yeah.
They're making a Star War.
What? There's no
Star War.
What?
Yeah, that and the theme park I think is opening next month for like Star Wars Land.
Yeah. Oh, I saw like photos of like Star Wars Land's Coca-Cola thing. Like they have like Coke and Sprites like in these like canisters, these ball canisters, and they look really awesome for the Star Wars theme park. Part of the park. It looks awesome.
Yeah, but it looks like there's like less drink in there because of how small it looks.
But it looks cool.
You're not buying a drink, you're buying a novelty souvenir.
Yeah, it's about the experience, misery, you know?
The experience of what, Pan? Looking at it?
Being in a Star War. You know, this is what they drink in the Star Wars.
Yeah, that's how Disney gets you. Like,
I hope there's at least one scene in the new one where they pull out the not Pepsi.
Yeah, it's time for
something.
Huh.
The Simpsons did a parody of the fact they're now part of the Disney family.
Oh, great.
It's a really dumb, self-aware thing.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're owned by Disney now. So are you guys excited for Disney Plus?
Kinda. Well,
I don't even know if
30 seasons.
I don't even know if it'll be available in Canada because, you know, we make everything for you guys, but we get the leftovers when it's actually made.
I just hope that they build a Sneed's Feed and See at Disney World.
I don't get that joke at all. What does that mean?
What's not to get?
What's the joke? I don't understand. Seeds, Sneeds, and Feeds, or whatever it was.
If I have to explain it to you, then it's not a joke.
I hate it. I don't understand if it is supposed to be a joke, an inside joke, or the joke that it's not supposed to be a joke. I don't understand.
So they're making a Mighty Mouse feature at Paramount.
Mighty Mouse, yeah.
I haven't heard Mighty
Remember when
Mouse
he
in
snorted
ages.
Coke? Wasn't there a scene in like the 80s or 90s cartoon where he just snorted Coke?
But he like sniffed the fragrance that someone gave him earlier. And so it was supposed to be like the symbolic thing of like remembering the person according to the director. But that guy didn't work in animation in a while afterwards.
I think it was like Don Bluth, or was
No, it was the guy who did Fritz the Cat.
Oh, Ralph Bakshi?
Yeah.
Yeah. First, I'm an idiot, and I sometimes get Don Bluth and Ralph Bakshi confused. I don't know why. I'm an idiot. Their last name start with B, so yeah.
Supposedly there is a Scooby-Doo live-action stage show in the works.
I heard that. I don't know how to feel about it because Scooby-Doo has been like adapted so many times and just like, can we get it over with already? Or at least get like, you know, an interesting concept that hasn't been done before.
They did. It was called Mystery Incorporated, and then no one watched it.
I liked it.
It's very cute. It's very well done.
It was mistreated. The problem with Mystery Incorporated was it was the second season was aired in a death slot. Like I think it was like at noon or 1 in the like on school days. So no one was watching it, and they aired a new episode every day until they ran out.
Damn.
Wow.
They did the same thing to Ben 10 Omniverse.
They're also doing they also did the same thing to Mega Man Fully Charged.
Oh, yeah. Cartoon Network doesn't care about like third-party shows. Like it's either their shows or Teen Titans Go, and everything else gets put on 6
Yeah, I think also
like,
Funicula got like pushed into like the very early mornings on Sundays, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I guess at least you can watch all those shows on the Boomerang streaming app.
Boomer.
But Mystery Incorporated is really good. Not only is the entire plot about Cthulhu, technically speaking, Velma's a lesbian. So,
Wow, based.
Ooh, canon.
I mean, obviously it's really easy to win me over.
Questions. If anybody has a question, be sure to start out with the word question so it's easier to find. And our first question is from the YouTube. It says, Lyle Smash. Question. You're in a Pleasantville scenario, but you end up in the last show you watched. What show are you in, and how do you change it? Okay, the last show you. What if you were transported?
Next question.
No. What if you were transported into the last show you watched?
Fuck.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh shit! Is that any good?
What did I watch?
I like it.
Yeah, I saw it. It was okay.
I watched the American Guides. That'd be pretty cool.
No, wait. I watched the Great British Baking Show.
Oh, that's not so bad. That's based in reality. You'll be fine.
It's gonna be the most okay, have you watched this show?
No.
I haven't watched it either. The girl I brought home wanted to watch it, and I didn't technically watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
But she was like, "You gotta watch this show, Izzy. You gotta watch it. It's so relaxing. Like, here, listen to this." And the the you know how like reality TV shows like add like this like ding and such to make it like more like anxiety ridden to get you like pumped. It is the most relaxing music for the frustration parts. Like, it's so chill. I fell asleep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Although if you get transported into this world, you can't leave the studio that's set in. That's the rule.
Can't
I
leave.
don't know. I would probably like to live in like one of the Disney worlds, but at the same time, I feel like I would get killed easily.
Oh no.
I don't know, unless it's like Pinocchio, but then again, there's like it's extremely shady universe where boys get kidnapped, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's just called reality.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, last thing I watched was The Simpsons, and it was the episode where a bear was walking around town. So, yeah, I think I'd be fine.
I'm so glad it's restricted
old episode.
to TV shows because I saw The Signal, the 2007 movie, The Signal, last night.
What movie was that again? Let me look that up. Signal. 2007.
Right before I entered this call, my mom was watching reruns of Bar Rescue. So,
yeah, good luck with that.
Yep. I'll just drink all the alcohol in a failing bar.
All right, but next question. Master Pikachu 97 says, question, thoughts on the leaked stage builder option in Smash Ultimate?
What?
Who cares?
It sure is an option. That will happen.
I don't like playing games for babies.
Whoa. What the heck's your problem?
I think. Yeah. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's not. It's not going to get online support. So, like, what's the point?
Oh,
well, it really depends. Because right now we don't know if the stage builder is going to be like Brawl or the fourth game. But like. Honestly, it needs to be upgraded. If it's just what we got previously, then fuck it. I don't care.
I don't want to play on like a little couple of blocks, and that looks ugly. No, thank you.
The same generic 4 or 5 like backdrops and then like generic looking things. No, give us assets from the other level.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it'd be too ambitious to do what I want them to do, which is something like Little Big Planet's customization stuff, you know, because I think Little Big Planet's the pinnacle of customization.
I think Smash should have a base building option like in Fortnite. Like
a 2D Fortnite?
I think it would add an interesting dimension to the game.
What they
Speaking of Little Big Planet, did you guys see that someone actually made Mario Maker within Little Big Planet's custom editor?
The heck?
That sounds
no,
amazing.
I kid you not. Let me pull this up for you.
That's freaking madness.
Little Big Planet.
It's like really intricate.
Mario Maker. Yes. Like it's super Game Explain made a video about it. Here you go. Check this out.
I'll check it out later.
Damn. Freaking nuts, bro.
Holy fuck, that video is loud. Wow, what a good
I didn't
intro.
see the drawing that Misery did of Adam's Family like this.
Oh yeah, I decided to like reshare the Addams Family fan art I did because I know a lot of people have been giving flags how Wednesday looks now, but I think she looks cute.
No, she's super cute. She has little like nooses for her ponytails.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason.
It's so cute. They're also, I believe, mostly hand animated. But also, if you ever notice that they are not crashing or floating, your girl got your back. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't wait till they sell like wigs of it so I can cosplay it with actual nooses on my hair.
Oh. Yeah. But let's see, next question. Negi Kitsu question: thoughts on the $350 Dragon Ball Blu-ray collection by Funimation?
Dragon Ball.
Cool.
Dragon Ball Z.
Is it Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball?
Dragon
Because
Ball Z. Whoops.
That sure is Dragon Ball Z of them to do.
Yeah, man. How else are you gonna watch Dragon Ball Z on home video? It's pretty awesome. Good thing they never made any other Blu-rays or DVDs. Yes. Yeah.
Did they make Dragon Ball on Blu-ray?
I don't think so. Does Funimation care about Dragon Ball? Does the average person in America care about Dragon Ball?
No, most people don't have taste.
Oh.
Yeah. All I really know about Dragon Ball as of recent is the Broly movie that came out. Other than that,
Broly for soup.
We need new, more powerful Dragon Balls. We need Dragon Cubes.
Oh shit! That's the next step.
Man, I haven't.
You can like stack them.
Like Legos.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Legos. It's the future.
Yeah, but let's see other questions. I mean, you guys can pick 1 and 2 if you guys want.
where are you mostly looking from? Just like Twitch or?
Yeah, Twitch. Yeah. Do you guys need a link?
No, I got the Twitch thing going. I just wasn't sure if you're also if there was like Twitter or whatever going on.
It's one question by Orange Pancake. Question.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. It's like question. Do you think we'll see more horror animation TV movies or otherwise?
I feel like this is a question we get very often because I know we've answered it.
Yeah, we have like, when are we getting more horror cartoons? The answer is
I haven't seen like a super like horror centric show like since I don't know, Grim Adventures or Courage. It's like ages ago.
Yeah.
Extreme Ghostbusters was pretty horrific. There's literally an episode in which Stephen King knockoff like types up horror stories and kills people.
Yeah,
whoa.
There's an episode that's literally a transformation fetish.
Oh, is it the one with Janine?
Yeah.
The one where she turns into a bug?
It's just me looking through the episode being like, who the fuck wrote this?
Yeah.
Probably a writer from Totally Spies.
I forgot about Over the Garden Wall. That's pretty horror too.
Yeah, over the goddamn wall.
I have a question for the audience. Who here likes paper?
Me?
It's okay.
What?
What kind of paper are we talking about?
I color digitally now, so forget paper.
Maybe cardstock, but probably just printer paper is fine, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like cardstock. It's good for prints.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I remember I used to I wasted all my parents' printer ink and cardstock printing a bunch of like random JPEGs from Deviant Art and random magazine scans and putting them all over my wall.
Hell yeah.
Good times.
Based in paper.
Now I kind of feel guilty because none of those artists got any money from me printing stuff out. It was 2008. It was a different time.
Gosh, that was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. I was in high school.
Here's a question from Riggy1999. Thoughts on the Pheneas and Ferb movie that's been in development for years coming to Disney Plus?
I mean, if that actually comes out, is it animated? I assume it's the animated.
I'm assuming that it's like a 2D animated thing.
I'd be so great if it was live action. All the other live action remakes have been really good so far.
It's gonna be really based.
I was just watching Milo Murphy's Law yesterday. I don't know. I'm sure it would be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milo Morphing's Law.
I've never seen Phineas and Ferb, so I don't really have an opinion.
It's a really cute show.
It's very cute. It's very. When it was during the time of like when cartoons were kind of having a bit of like a dry spell of like quality entertainment. It was, I believe it's when like Cartoon Network and slash like YTV were doing like a bunch of live action, yeah, and then on Disney, Phineas and Ferb were like, here's actually something kind of charming. So new animated movie, or assuming that it's going to be animated, I'm hoping that it stays in 2D, because knowing a lot of properties like this, they're like, haha, what if we do something wacky and turn them into 3D? And it's like, no, please keep it 2D. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Pheneas and Ferb, I enjoy the fact that the main characters are all these abstract shapes and such, and then background characters are super generic.
Yeah, really. Well, I do believe that the idea behind that that the creators had was that they want them to be easily recreatable for children who watch the show, so that they can draw their favorite characters. So it's like, just draw a triangle and there you go, there's Phineas.
Yeah.
Then do the rest of the background characters like that too. It's weird to like make them realistic looking, quote unquote.
I've heard like Phineas and Ferb's character designs were made in under a week. Like, I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly they wanted Steven Silver, the Kim Possible character designer, to do the show. And it was like they needed him to do it in under a week, and he couldn't do it. So they just hired someone, and that guy did it in under a week, and that's why everybody looks like that.
Wow. Well, it saves time.
So I want to believe that's the case, because it sounds plausible.
Well, I was just going to say, like, in terms of that new Disney streaming service, like, all I really want from it is just to watch the classic Disney movies in HD, so I won't ever have to buy, like, the Blu-rays or anything.
Forget friggin' physical media. I'm done with that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, like, Disney makes sense if they release like the old TV shows and like, actually release the last half of all the Disney afternoon shows where we can finally watch those. That'd be cool.
Yeah, in HD.
And Disney has the most, like, such a huge catalog that it would be worth doing Disney Plus as long as they put all their stuff on there. However, I don't know how many more of these like companies can make streaming services before it like that market explodes on itself.
There was already like a Canadian streaming service that like went out of business. I don't exactly know why, but it's interesting because I'm sure some of them will like fizzle out like that.
Yeah.
And then also some of them are ridiculous. I know Netflix is going to increase its price again already, which isn't really a big deal for Netflix, because even if a couple 100,000 people drop out, the rest of the millions of people who subscribe, that's additional dollars to them. But like for example, CBS All Access, I kind of want to get it exclusively for the Twilight Zone, but like $6 for one show, and I guess if you're into Star Trek, but it's way too much.
Like I hope that Disney like actually does announce their like old cartoons, especially House of Mouse. I would love to see that in HD.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, maybe like also.
I have a question.
You can go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say like I hope they use it as a platform to like give us more, cartoon animations. If they're not gonna be like in Disney XD, maybe use it for the Disney Plus or something. Yeah.
Disney XD. Yeah.
All right. Well, someone said just buy it for 1 month. I'll have to wait for all the episodes to come out, and then I can do it. But okay, so the question is, with the Disney buyout, with the Xenomorph Queen, does that make a Xenomorph a Disney princess?
Why should the Xenomorph get to be a princess first before the girl from Atlantis? No one ever cares about the girl from Atlantis. What the heck?
The Xenomorph is hotter.
Oh,
well, she can kill all the other princesses and just be the remaining one.
That's what makes her hotter.
The Atlantis girl could kick her ass. Though.
Maybe.
Pan, her name is Kita.
Yeah, Kita, that's her name.
Kita Prakash, I believe.
I love.
Why doesn't she get credit as the first black princess? Damn it!
I love that Pan's like ready to defend this character he doesn't even know the name of.
Look,
why do people don't care about this? I don't even care about this.
Look, I'll call it how he sees it. It's like, why does everyone ignore her?
I believe the only reason I know her name is because I had a dog named after her. But yeah, that's a good question, because she's awesome and I love her, and she's voiced by Cree Summer, right?
Yeah,
she's a rad actress. in a lot of her like actual official like promo and concept art, she's like whitewashed for some reason.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why.
Well, it's concept art, so, you know, they're figuring things out.
Yeah. But like, God, that is such an underrated movie, and I wish that got... I believe there's like a tweet going around as well where it's like, hey, Disney, instead of like remaking beloved like classics that already have so much attention, like why don't you bring attention to the stuff that didn't perform as well by doing like remakes or reimagining
Home on the Range live action.
That's what I'm talking about.
I would like for them to do that for like Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Although I don't feel they can do that do the movie for Atlantis, since everyone's just gonna say this is just Avatar, which is just a bunch of other movies in a way. Like I've heard people compare Avatar to like Atlantis too. Yeah.
I mean, Avatar is literally Titanic, because it's two people from two different classes meet each other and then something big falls up.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Same movie.
Where's make an animated remake of Black Hole.
Black Hole? You mean Black Cauldron?
Fuck, you're old.
No, I meant the Black Hole. It's a Disney. It's one of Disney's early like sci-fi horror movies that they made.
I get you.
It's from like the 80s. It's too young for you, you know.
Yeah.
Even though we're the same age, I think. So, you know, you wouldn't get it.
Oh, hey, someone asked Pan, ironically enough, because you were just talking about this. Pan, would you be willing to sell any of your collectibles at MomoCon?
That means I don't think so, since that requires putting it on the plane.
I was going to say, because aren't you literally taking your stuff to a convention for a garage sale?
Essentially, I'm going to South Texas Comic Con, and I'm just going to, like, sell all this junk, like, essentially for, like, maybe, like, $1 or, like, 50 cents. And it's like, look, take these things. I don't want it. I just don't want this too much.
I just love the idea of you going to a convention and not selling, like, merch or art, just yard sale.
I mean, if I could, I would have, like green AstroTurf floor on where my booth is, have like those pink the plastic flamingo things there, and I would just sit on like one of those fold out garden lawn chairs.
People will probably want you to sign your stuff.
Yeah, see, people want that.
You should sign their tummies.
It's fine. No, that's weird.
What, you calling something weird?
That's creepy. I have a limit, you know. It's like, I'm not doing that. I don't know these people.
But what if it's a goth girl? Would you sign it?
It's like, no, I don't. That's kind of weird. It's not really.
Not even if she's in a Raven cosplay.
That's concerning because she's in a Raven suit. How do you?
One of my favorite picks for MomoCon is we found this Raven cosplayer, and I was a little tipsy, and I made Pan pose with her for a photo, and like Pan doesn't even attempt to do a normal pose. He does like a kind of like a reverse Will Smith, like pointing, you know, doing the meme where he's like, look at this thing, but like he's not even doing it to her. He's just randomly putting his hands in there. What was your thought process, Pan?
I don't know. It's a real life Raven cosplayer who didn't know who I was, so I was like, I don't know.
What if you rather him
this
do
is
a
weird.
hover hand?
I don't want to creep this person out. It's like, I don't know. These are real people, so it's like, I'm too socially inept to like handle this situation, you know? Yeah.
But it was really funny because it was me and Jem, and then you. Nolan was doing something with Spo.
Me and you and my dog Blue.
I'm not gonna leave my house in 2 days.
Okay, here's a cool question. If Pikachu didn't exist, then which Pokemon would you choose to be the new mascot from any generation?
Haunter.
Originally, they wanted Meowth.
Mimikyu.
No, originally it was Clefairy. Was supposed to be it.
I would still pick Mimikyu.
This is very easily just a "What's your favorite Pokemon?" question.
No, it's got to be the mascot that represents the series. You got to think
from any generation.
Ditto.
It has to be one. Like I would pick like maybe Squirtle, but it's like that's part of a trio, so you can't really put that. So
Haunter.
Yeah, no.
The ghost
that's-
Pokemon that eats your dreams. Perfect mascot.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Mew
Mew is
could
pretty-
work.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mew's really cute.
Yeah, because you gotta
Yeah, that's
make it
a-
cute enough to sell merch.
I think
Yeah.
Meltan's pretty cute. I know that's like the newest Pokemon, but it's essentially a Ditto, but not a Ditto at the same time. Yeah, it would have to be like cute and marketable. It'd probably have to be a quote unquote gender neutral color. Because if it was pink, then oh no, that's too girly.
Yeah.
But the Caterpie, we can have Caterpie. That's a good mascot.
Here's one question. When will Crying Will Nutty be on the podcast?
Well, I don't know him. I don't know. He's out there doing something sad. Yeah.
There's some.
You could say that
Small
again.
corner.
There's some questions which are being begged to be answered in the chat.
Yeah, I haven't brought them up because this isn't my podcast, so I'm not gonna speak for it.
Shush. Wait, you all know about that guy? Oh no.
I did.
Wait, I'm confused. What question are we talking about?
Don't. Some guy on Twitter called Cry W Nut. We don't talk about him. He's out there. He's just drawing my characters. It's really sad. He has this weird obsession with Stephanie. I don't know what that's about.
Just in the corner masturbating while crying.
Shh.
I'm crying while nutting.
The
Hey.
face I'm making at Pan right now
No.
that he can't see is just, god damn it.
I didn't bring it up. It was Misery that brought it up. Blame her.
Yeah, I just saw it in the chat. Sorry.
You fool.
No, you're fine. It just Pan likes to roleplay as multiple people. It's,
Nice.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's me, Stephanie Vasquez. What are you guys doing?
Hi, Stephanie.
Oh, don't go back to your room, Stephanie. Go back to your room.
No. Oh. Yeah, but I think this is the end of the podcast because we're done with this den of sadness.
Yeah, we ended on a loop. note.
And I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
I'm Izzy.
I'm Princess Misery or just Misery.
Yeah.
But is this like, hi, I'm Prat, Party Prat on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm
Flawless. Perfect.
A+.
Never checked.
Yeah. Sure. I'm Carmen, or also known as Snookums Gal on most social medias.
Mm-hmm. And this was the pizza party. Oh, I don't know.
I didn't get
Were you
any
gonna say
pizza.
something more?
Yeah, where's our pizza?
Yeah.
What is the point of the name?
No. At MomoCon, we had the Pizza Party podcast panel, and there was someone that actually came up and was really disappointed there wasn't pizza in the panel room.
Oh gosh.
Damn. Look, that's a lot of pizzas. Like, how many, how big's that room? How many people are there? And how many pizzas for everyone? That's a lot.
It was a packed room.
Yeah, it's like, but there's not enough pizzas for everyone. This isn't like the soup kitchen, It's like, you ain't getting your pizzas here. Get out of here.
Let's order for this year. Can we order a pizza and just eat it on stage in front of
Don't
them?
even talk or answer any questions. Just lean into the microphone and chew.
ASMR.
Yeah, don't let the audience have any. Just watch us eat.
And if someone tries to say something, you just stop eating and tell them to shut up and go back to eating.
Have someone like, hey, you come here, walk up to the panel, like the table, and just blow it in their face.
Oh.
Just throw it like a fucking frisbee.
Oh god.
Okay, I know a viable solution. I think Pizza Pockets come in boxes of maybe 40 or 20. So I think if we buy 2 boxes of Pizza Pockets, we could. No, not
Everyone
pizza.
can have a bite.
Pizza bagels. Pizza bagels. That's
Don't
it.
even heat them up.
Yeah.
Just chuck frozen
Everyone-
pizza bagels at everyone.
Everyone gets a pizza bagel.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
you can find me on Twitter,
So-
Princess X Misery.
Yeah.
If you want.
Links to everyone in the description.
I'll type in my Twitter because I'm in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll do that too.
So goodbye, every pony. Bye.
Bye, party people.
Bye.